miłoci Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is yet indeed another day, a bright Sunday, a day that the Lord has made, that we should all be glad and rejoice in it. Today is yet another episode of health issues. One may ask, what is health issues? It's a program that has been established by Richmond Media to create awareness and promote health. This is the reason because our health is very important. The advice or the program that is being discussed here will help you to lead a life that will enhance the life that the Lord has given to you so that you'll be able to enjoy the fruit of your womb. This afternoon, we have a very important topic to be discussed. This episode, the topic is how to maintain the health of the liver. At the end of the program, if we know how our liver is being cared for or is being maintained, it will help us to live long because our liver is very important organ in the human system. This afternoon, I have with me my own brother, Brother George Ackon. Brother George, you're welcome once again to Richmond Media.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm highly favored by the divine grace.
Thank you. And to our listeners, without you, it is impossible for us to bring this program live at Richmond Media or to your doorsteps. Therefore, we encourage you to invite friends and family to join us so that they will also enjoy the benefit of maintaining a healthy liver. My second guest is just arriving, you know, from the flight. So join me to welcome our own brother, Mr. Emmanuel Quansah. Mr. Emmanuel Quansah, you're welcome once again to Richmond Media, and we thank the Lord that you have arrived safely.
Thank you, Auntie Hanna. How are you?
I'm very good by the grace of God. Thank you so much. I hope you are well as well.
I'm also good. It's unfortunate, but then God has blessed
It's it looks like your network is shaking a bit.
Yes,
So
it's unfortunate. I may not be stable, but
let's see how we get on with our topic and see how the network from Ghana favors us this afternoon.
absolutely.
Brother George, yeah. Um, I know the both of you are there, so even if one's network is shaking, the other one will compensate for us to complete the program successfully. And my two brothers, how can we
Yes.
maintain a healthy liver? In other words, I want to ask, what is the liver at all? Any one of you can go ahead, please.
Okay. I want to thank our viewers and our listeners, and also thank the Most High God for this greatest opportunity He has given to us. In fact, it's really a blessing for us sinners to be discussing something about what the Almighty Creator, who is not a sinner, has created, and we having the chance to dive into it is greatest opportunity that the Lord has given to us. So our viewers and our listeners, since we are two and you are the third, yeah, we believe that the discussions will be fruitful. Um, so we need to regard the Almighty God. When you read a book called Ministry of Healing, page 128, it says that too little attention is generally given to the preservation of health. When it comes to our communities, you realize that too little attention is mostly given to preservation or maintenance of our health. It is far better to preserve diseases or to prevent diseases than to know how to treat it when contracted with it. Therefore, this afternoon lesson is very important for us. The overview of liver. I hope that was the question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. You know that the liver is an organ, internal organ God has created. So as part of this human system, we have a certain organ that we call the liver. Human beings have liver. Animals also have liver. When you take this human system, the greatest or the largest organ, when you take the entire system, is the skin. That's why the skin covers every part so that it will prevent internal organs from being damaged or being visible. But when you take the internal organs, which means the organs within the skin that you cannot see by your eye, the largest organ is the liver. Therefore, it's something that we need not to joke with it. And little thing that we do affect the liver, and any good thing that we do maintain its health. That explains why currently a lot of liver diseases are in the system. Currently, a lot of sicknesses are in the system because of how we maintain our liver. So we know the liver is also one of the vital organs that God has made it in a way that because of its special activity, it can regenerate itself. It means that when you take the liver, even when 2/3 of the liver spoil, that 1/3 left can still function. That tells you how God has made this special organ, liver. So don't wait for it for 2/3 to spoil and now test whether the 1/3 can continue to maintain your health for you. Now, when you take the liver, it is positioned in the upper part of your abdomen, but it's at the, you mostly see it at the right side of your upper abdomen. That is where God has created it. And God, being the greatest architect or being the greatest creator, he knew the reason why he placed it just there. And some of these are the reason. You know that part, we have it being protected by the rib cage, the rib. We have the ribs, and it's been designed like in a cage form so that the internal soft organs, even with the hit, will first hit on the ribs before it gets to the internal organs. So God has designed to place it in between or in the rib cage so that the rib cage can protect it. And thankfully, it also gets its strength from the blood, and the blood that you provide it will help maintain it or affect it. So quality blood, and it will get that rich blood through the blood vessels. So when you are talking about the liver, its health, the blood vessels also come into place. You see that the location itself enable it to receive and process blood directly from the digestive system. So anything you put in the mouth, to get into the body, the first filtering place, like the security organ or like the power in the body, is the liver. He will need to take it and sieve it or process it before it's being transferred to other parts of the body. So it tells you how special and important this liver is, so that we don't joke about it. So this is just a simple overview of the liver before we move on to its work. Then we will appreciate God for creating the liver for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. If that is the case, you want us to continue with the works of the liver. So, what are the work of the liver? You may continue.
Okay.
Thank you.
One of the work of the liver, we've talked about the position. It's being positioned at that right side, just proximal to the stomach, so that anything from the stomach, the intestine, will first get there. Then it will detoxify it. So it serves, or it works as a detoxifier. So either you drink, you eat, or whatsoever you consume into this human system, the liver needs to work on it to detoxify it. Means that to be able to remove toxins from it, so that toxic substances will not join your bloodstream to the cells of the body. So that's the first work as a detoxifier. So we need to take note of that. The second one is that the liver also help us to produce blood protein, some special protein called the albumin, or another blood protein like the plasma protein, which will help us prevent clotting. So if you have a liver related issue, the reason why you get a cut and you don't overbleed, the reason why you are menstruating and the bleeding is not like all the days, but it will come, then there will be a clot formation. Then another thing is the liver, because of that protein he has produced. And it also produces another protein called the albumin. The albumin is like the carrier in the blood. So for insulin to be released, for glucose to be transferred into the cells, you need the protein albumin. So like the Uber car in your system is the protein albumin, and the liver needs to produce it. So for any action to take place, we need this protein albumin to work on it. Another aspect too is that the liver produces bile. Bile is what helps you to break down fat. So when you eat food that contains fatty substance, what helps with that breakdown is the liver. So if your liver is not functioning well, it means fat cannot be breaking down well, and it will directly be sent through your stomach, and that will bring another conditions that we will be talking about. Another work of the liver is that when you eat, it involves itself in metabolism. So for metabolism, the breakdown of food for it to be used as energy, the excess glucose that the body will not need, because you are just sitting idle, you just finished eating 2 balls of banku, but the liver sees that indeed you'll be able to use just half energy. He will store the rest. So he acts as a storage, and also will reproduce back to you when you are in need of it. So it stores excess glucose, and it also plays a major role with our hormonal production or hormone production. For anything that will differentiate myself from Auntie Bimah, for you to see that she is a female, I am a male, depends on hormone, and the regulator or the production is the liver that needs to do that magic work. And it helps also to produce a healthy cholesterol for the body to use. So when you talk about some of the work of the liver, these are some of the work of the liver. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother, for how far you have explained the work of the liver. At this moment, if we know how the liver works, then it will be very nice for us to continue by knowing the type of liver conditions. What are they, please?
Okay. So for a disease to occur, no, you see how God has created this organ, liver, special organ. It's like a sophisticated machine within this human system. A machine that can, even when you are spoiling it, is still trying to regenerate itself. A disease can occur when the structure, which is the anatomy of it, and when the structure is being affected. And when it's being affected, you get what we call the pathology, the diseases that occurs. But when you read a book called The Ministry of Healing, page 127, it says that diseases is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from violations of the laws of health. So whenever we violated how God has given us the responsibility to maintain this special health of the liver, then you get what we call disease. So these are some of the conditions that can affect the liver, or these are some of the conditions that when you get, it clearly tells you that you are suffering from a liver-related problem. Number one is that the liver itself, we have said that anything you consume, either food or drink, it will be the first security to get it, to detoxify it. So whenever you ingest a contaminated food or contaminated drink into or water into your system, we can get what we call typhoid fever. And typhoid fever is a liver related condition. Number two is that the liver plays a role by cleansing your blood. In so doing, bilirubin, which will be when the red blood cells break down, the waste product is what we call the bilirubin. And that bilirubin is what gives your fecal matter the brownish color. But in this case, when the liver is not functioning well, that bilirubin will be more in your blood. Then you get yellowish discoloration of your eye and your mouth, and you get what we call jaundice fever. It's a liver-related condition. Now, we are saying that when your liver is full of toxic and you had an encounter with a mosquito called the female Anopheles mosquito, and your liver is not in good strength, the cycle of how malaria will occur is that when this infected female Anopheles mosquito bites you and infected the plasmodium into your system, it gets into your liver. When your liver is strong and healthy, it will push it out. But when your liver is not strong and is full of filth, after 7 days, it will manifest as signs of malaria. So malaria fever is not just the mosquito who is biting you, but it tells you that there is filth in your liver. Another aspect is that the liver needs to cleanse every filth from the body, and it will give to the skin as a form of sweat. It will give to your kidneys to bring it out as a form of urine. It will give to your intestines to bring it out. It will give to your intestines to bring it out as a form of fecal matter. It will give to your lungs to bring it out as a form of sweating or producing coughing to bring it out. But during a situation where filth has harbored internally and there is no heat weather, the filth will harbor within your system, then you manifest what we call the normal fever. So bitterness in the mouth, weakness, headache. You do all the labs, they will say, oh, nothing is in your blood. Oh, that's what we call the normal fever. The normal fever. So at times, especially during the cold season, that explains why most people get the feverish condition in the cold season, because heat is not in the system for you to sweat and bring the toxin out, but it will harbor within the system. So when the liver is detoxifying itself, remember we have talked that it cleanses itself. When it's doing that work, because your liver is in you, Bimah, and my liver is in me, I will be experiencing the headache, the loss of appetite and co. So that's also another form of fever. Then we come to diabetes, especially the type 2 diabetes. The liver, we are saying, it stores excess glucose from blood. Then when you need it, it will come. Whenever you are suffering from a diabetes, it can be like your blood is having the glucose already, but because your liver functioning has been impaired, it will again release excess glucose to add up to the already existing glucose. And when we check your blood to see the sugar in it, you say that you have high blood sugar. Another aspect is that we have some individuals who have been taking some energy drinks and co to take the excess glucose to be released before time. So we have some people, when they are hungry for just 2 hours, you see they are shaking, then sweating and co, like hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, is also a liver related problem, but we mostly ignore. Another aspect is ascites. You see some men who are having protruded abdomen, like pregnant women who have reached their term, 9th month. That's what we call the ascites. The fluid is being built up because of pressure in certain veins in the liver. That's what we call the portal hypertension. Portal hypertension means that the liver needs to play a role so that there will not be pressure within the blood vessels for free flow. But a situation where the liver is being diseased, there will be pressure in some certain aspect of the liver. Then instead of balancing your fluid, it will be accumulating. Then you become pregnant, a male pregnant person. That's ascites, very dangerous. Now, the liver can be inflamed because of certain activities you do into the liver. It can inflame, and that's what we call the hepatitis, inflammation of the liver. And with the hepatitis, that's the name, but the lay down or the layman's explanation is inflammation of the liver. Your liver can be inflamed, one, when you are abusing alcohol or when you are abusing drugs. Due to that, the cells there trying to compensate for it to work well. So that compensating mechanism will lead to that inflammatory response. Then you get what we call the hepatitis. That's why some people's hepatitis is not like that. They receive blood transfusion or through a needle or sharp or sweat or anything. But because of probably he was a female when he started menstruating, pains. So every month he will take painkiller and the liver needs to detoxify it. So over a long time, it will inflame. Then we get what we call hepatitis, inflammation of the liver. When fats build up in the system, when you are eating non-essential fatty foods, fats that cannot be consumed or digested by this human system, it can accumulate in your viscera or in organs or on the surfaces of an organ. Then you can get what we call fatty liver. So that's also a condition of the liver. Then remember, we are saying the cells within the liver get its strength from the pure blood that you take through your blood vessels. Then it will help maintain its balance. But when the cells are not getting a quality pure blood, the cells will be malformed or will overgrow. Then you have what we call liver cancer. That's the overgrowth of the cell or proliferation of the cell. So you can get liver cancer. Then also, because the liver needs to play a role, release bile. If you're not working well, the fluid, that's the bile, which is like a salty and other proteins, can never be lighter, and you get what we call the thickened. And when it's thickened, that's what we get gallbladder stones. So you can get gallbladder stones. So we need to note. Then the first aspect I'll talk about is that when you let your liver overwork, every day, then gradually, then you can get what we call liver. That's the hardening of the liver because of the too much stress you have let it overtake. Then you can get liver failure. So some of the things that can emanate from the liver, not forgetting the fibroid issues and the infertility issues. Mostly liver is also cannot be ruled out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother, for taking us through the conditions of the liver, which is very, very important. Indeed, we are really enjoying the program as it continues. Friends and family, loved ones that you are watching us, viewers, please don't forget to share this link for others to also benefit from it so that they will be able to look after their liver or they'll be able to take care of their liver. Brother George, in this case, the conditions that we get from liver, you have really made it clear to us. How can we know the signs of getting these conditions? So, signs and symptoms that is leading to liver condition? What are they, please? Thank you so much.
Thank you. So you realize that even Jesus Christ, when he was ascending, he told us that before he descend, there will be signs to tell us that his coming is near. Therefore, in our health or our human system, for an organ to completely fail, it will first give us a sign. So when things are working in an orderly way, you will realize that everything will be systematic. You will not feel anything. But when you are doing certain things, either willingly or unwillingly, that is causing disorder within this human system, it will probably give you some signs. And these are some of the signs that can tell you or suggest to you that what you are experiencing might be from a liver related condition. Number one is that the liver needs to excrete waste of red blood cells from the blood. Therefore, when the waste accumulates in the blood, you can have yellowish discoloration of the eye. It's a sign of a liver problem. Or the skin. Some people, you see them, they are not white, but when you see them, they are yellow. They are yellow, and it tells you that this person clearly is suffering from a liver related problem. So it's one. Number two, we say that per8 position is located at the right upper part of the abdomen. Therefore, when it's being affected, you might mostly complain of abdominal pains, but mostly you'll be touching on that right upper part of the abdomen. So pain, abdominal pain, but this time specifically in that right upper part is a sign. Number two is that because the veins, there shouldn't be any pressure in it. Your abdomen needs to be cool and that. But when you start to be developing protruded abdomen, a male or female protruded abdomen, you need to be watch out that your liver has started giving you some sign that you have not slept with anyone, but you are becoming pregnant. Therefore, UPT will test negative, but be mindful of it. Number three, you see the color of our fecal matter should be brownish, and the shape should be cylindrical. That's how the normal structure of our fecal matter. Therefore, if your fecal matter is pale, like someone who is anemic, it tells when you defecate and it's pale, it tells you are having a liver-related problem. You need to watch out. Pale stool. Then urine. When you urinate and it's dark, you have a dark urine, it's also giving you a clear signs. Aside that, you are drinking enough water and co. We are not saying someone who is not drinking water, then you go and urinate, it's like cola. Then see, I'm having liver problem or no. But if you are doing all these things, but your urine has tend to be that dark in color and co, then persistently you need to watch out and do other tests to confirm. Now we have talked about itching. You can have itchy skin. We have some people who are having itchy skin, but it will not bring any rashes, but they will be scratching themselves. Most of the time, the liver needs to take filth out, and when the filth accumulates within the system, now the skin will be reacting towards that. Then you'll be scratching your body. So not all skin itchiness is as a result of the water you are bathing, or the soap you are bathing, or the cream you are applying. Some might be a problem from the liver. So that's also another sign. Then you can have irregular menstruation or irregular blood flow. We've talked about because of the liver regulating your hormones. That's the estrogen and progesterone. So when that liver is being affected, it means the time that estrogen needs to come is not releasing. The time that progesterone needs to come is not releasing. Therefore, you can have irregular menstruation. So you need to talk about then low sperm count and related issue, because the fat that you have the liver produce, remember, the liver produces its own cholesterol, and through it that it produces the sperms and the other hormones. So when the liver is being affected, it will not be able to produce a quality sperm for you. So it will lead to the low sperm count, the infertility issue. So we need to talk about. Then we've talked about the bile, that the liver through its activity will release bile, and bile is very bitter in nature. So when you are having a liver related problem, it tells you that digestion will be impaired in a way. Then when you have a backflow of it, that's why most people complain of bitterness in the mouth, because the bowel is bitter and there's a problem with the liver. So it's like, in a way, there's a backflow, like you have eaten and you are burgeoning out, but suddenly some come or some entered your mouth. You see at times how bitter it is. So it also gives you a sign of liver related issue because of the bowel. So these are, and the hotness, the fever, hotness of the body or coldness of the body is a form of liver problem. That's why most people, hotness and cold, we are saying malaria or other fevers. So all fevers, all kinds of fevers you get, the root cause, you need to tackle the liver. These are some of the signs that will suggest to an individual that whatever you are going through can suggest a liver related problem. So you need to prove forward, and we know the otherwise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother, for how far you have taken us through our liver. Um, what are some of the investigations needed to confirm the state of the liver, please?
Okay. The liver is an internal organ. And for internal organ, aside the cardinal signs and symptoms that we mentioned, you want to prove further to know either what I'm going through, if it's just a normal thing or not. You need to again do blood tests. Blood test one, we will check your blood for liver functioning test. We need to know the function of the liver. Blood test again can help us to do hepatitis profile, so that we can know whether your liver is inflamed and you are having hepatitis. And if you are having the hepatitis, it proves further to know the viral load, so that blood tests can help us to ascertain the causes of those things. Then blood tests can help us to know lipid profile. That will help us to know the amount of fat within your blood. And that lipid profile will help us to be ascertained to know that as your abdomen is protruding, it's three things: either fat, fecal matter, or air. Which of them? Are you passing air well? Are you defecating well, but your abdomen is still protruding? Or cholesterol? Then you help us to know. Then because it's internal.
Hold on for me, brother. When you said about if someone is passing air within our community, when you pass air, it's an abomination. But now you are telling us, or you are asking, if you are passing um, air or we are farting well. How do we go about it? Because everyone is trying to, behave like they are
Gentle.
gentle lady.
Okay. So you realize that I don't know if Auntie Bimah can hear me. Okay. So as she asked, you realize that within our locality, whenever someone is passing air, then he feels shy, even when the person is alone in his or her room. We are not also saying that be disturbing people at your workplace or your locality with the air. No. But rather, let's make sure that it's something that we need to work on it. If you are not passing air and you are retaining the air, it will give you a lot of problem. So most of the people that are having protruded abdomen, aside being it fat, some percentage is because of fecal matter, and some percentage is because of accumulation of gases within the system that we need to work on it. So don't be gentle, man or lady, when it comes to this passing of air in your homes and within you. So we need to be mindful of that. You are on mute.
Thank you so much, brother, for taking us through that. Is there any more that you can add to the investigations needed to confirm the
Yeah.
state of the
Then
liver?
you need to do urine test. You need to do urine test as well, so that we can be able to ascertain the urine to know the glucose level and code, so that it will help as well. So urine test. And at times too, if you are developing a cancerous or a cancer, that's where it will prove further for people to also do a biopsy. A biopsy is that they take some fluid or some tissue from the liver, then they go and investigate to know that the enlargement, is it as a result of a cancer formation or what is forming. So blood tests, the ultrasound, then the urine test, then the liver biopsy, adding up to the signs you are presenting, can give a clear picture to your physician to prove on that you are having a liver related condition or just a different condition. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. How can we harm the liver? Or at what point can we
Yeah,
harm
this
the liver?
one is a choice. And when it comes to a choice, you realize that most people are making some choices, of which the knowledge they are getting, that's where they are getting, they are making their selection. But I would like to come to the simplest aspect where so far I've seen that it's leading to a lot of liver-related condition. Number one is aflatoxins. Aflatoxins. When we talk about aflatoxins, breaking it down, you see mold that forms on some seed like the granite. When you are chewing granite, that's the simple one. When you are chewing granite, you realize that the granite is well fried. You are chewing it, then one shot granite will just come and spoil everything. The formation of that spoiled thing is what we call the mold. But you realize that most of us are taking in aflatoxins foods. And these aflatoxins are causing toxic within our system. So preferably, if you want to take your granite, like mostly in the seeds, when you are taking your granite, make sure that you yourself will just pick out what is not good out from it. Then if you want to grind it, you now send to grind and make it your paste. But when you are taking from the larger consumers, note that people currently are more interested in money than our health. So they might not be able to take most of these things out from the granite and will make a paste of all. Then as you are consuming it, you have a liver related problem. Research has proven that a lot of people getting liver condition, liver cancers, is linked with aflatoxins. At times too, you are about to eat certain thing, but you realize that it has formed, its mold has formed at a particular place. Then you use your hand to just wipe it away. Then you consume. So the intake of aflatoxins is causing a lot of liver-related issues, whilst most are not aware. Let's be mindful of it. Number two, we are saying that liver gets its blood from pure air. And pure blood, and pure blood constituent is minerals from the food you eat, then quality air. So wherever your air you are inhaling is impure smoke, it will affect the quality of your blood, and that polluted blood will be supplied to your liver. So let's be mindful of where we are inhaling what is very important. Then another aspect is that you see, when you are washing your bowls to take out filth, the best thing that will help to make your bowl well clean or your utensils well clean is to add a lot of water. Therefore, the liver, being a detoxifier within this human system, needs a lot of water. And most people currently in our world now do not like water, but we want to take something to replace water. So at least within every 2 hours, if you are consuming 250 ml of water, 250 mils of water every 2 hours. By the time you reach 6 o'clock, you've consumed like mostly how the body can accommodate, because in between you will be taking some juice, in between you will be taking some fruit, in between you will be taking some soup, and it will be adding up. Let's make water intake be like, let's be addicted to water. Because of less or inadequate intake of water, we are getting a lot of liver related issues, because more toxins are in the liver or in the system, and the liver need water to help it to clear, but it's not getting. So we need to be mindful. Alcohol consumption. Note that when you drink alcohol, when it passes through your stomach, your intestine is going to the liver first for it to detoxify it and from the blood and make the blood pure. But your alcohol is going to cause a lot of harm to the liver. That explains why most alcoholic, you realize that in the beginning he will be flat tummy person, but when he take it for long, then he develop protruded abdomen. Tells you how you have let your liver suffer for a longer time. So alcohol intake, certain medications, you anything you take, being it in a drug form, being it in any form, the liver is going to work first on it. So the more you consume medicines, the more you are prone to liver condition. So I always tell our dear women that don't let your menstrual pain, your solution be the painkiller, but rather ascertain the cause. You know, Adam and Eve, God instructed them that when you eat this tree, you will die. But after eating the tree, what happens? Instead of Adam thinking of how he would die, now he's making a cloth. So he went to take a cloth from leaves. He made a cloth from leaves. So same as us. Instead of us ascertaining the root cause of our problem so that we can overcome, we are also taking the root leaves as a cloth by taking other quick actions. So we need to be mindful of it. Then whenever you are taking red meat or meat, remember, scientifically, it has proven that all cancers largely due to the intake of meat. Biblically, it has proven that Leviticus 3:17, in all your generations, do not eat blood nor fat. So the more we consume meat, the more we are prone to cancer, and liver too can get cancer. So if you want to prevent yourself from liver cancer, then you need to be mindful of what you are chewing. It's very important. Butter or margarine. Butter or margarine. When you are taking this butter or margarine, it's a saturated fat. A saturated fat means that the body cannot digest it. And whenever you are taking this thing, butter or margarine, cholesterol will jump about 20% in few hours. You take it. And remember, when these cholesterol are building up within your system and it's not able to be digested well within your by your liver, it will end up covering internal organs, including the liver, for you to get fatty liver. So we need to be mindful of overeating. A lot of us overeat.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like the network from my brother's side is just disturbing us. But as so far, the Lord has been good to us. We are just at the end of the topic. If he comes back, we just continue. I'm sure that the network is stable now. So therefore, continue to stay tuned. Thank you so much. Brother, you may continue where you were.
Okay, the more you overeat, the more you put pressure on the liver for the liver to release a lot of bile. Especially the more you consume fat, the more the liver needs to help the bile to be releasing the gallbladder to be releasing bile, and the liver will overwork and it will make it enlarge. So we need to be mindful of it. Then fermentation. You know, some individuals are not taking alcohol, but they are having a liver condition called liver cirrhosis. That's when we ask them, when the doctor sees, he will ask, are you taking alcohol? That will be the first question. Why? Because the damage he has seen has realized that there has been some fermentation process within the liver. And one aspect, if you might not be taking alcohol, but one aspect that you cause fermentation within your system is combining cooked meal with fruit. Combining cooked meal with fruit will lead to what we call fermentation, because when you consume the two together, the fruit cannot come out and leave the cooked meal within the system. Therefore, if the cooked meal is supposed to take like 2 to 3 hours and the fruit will take like 30 minutes to an hour, it needs to wait. And you know, wherever sugar is waiting, it will ferment. And that when it ferments, that gives you the bloated tummy, abdomen, gas accumulation, and most people are brewing in their abdomen whilst they are not palm wine tappers. So we need to be make sure of that wrongful combination. So we need to be. And the last thing is about your mind. We have individuals now in this community who don't think positive about others. Someone has given you a work to do. You don't think of the person's goodness. You are always thinking negative. So you see yourself. The more you think negative about Auntie Bimah or myself, and you see me, then you will first thing fear. Then there will be release of hormones within your system. So when Adam committed the sin and he heard the voice of God, Adam, then he was shivering. Why? Because the liver is the seat of all hormones. That's why when you encounter some fearful thing, you know that you begin to be shivering, or profuse sweating, or hotness comes in the system. So think positive, so that chemicals that will be releasing from your brain into your bloodstream will be calm, and the liver will not work on it in its regulation. That's what I will say about how we harm the liver. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother George. In this case, let's acknowledge our viewers. Yeah, Sister Doris Odro Rabbi says, good afternoon. We are seated listening. Thank you so much, Sister, for your time and your love for Richmond Media. Mommy Anna Owusu says, very educative topic. Thank you, Mom, for supporting your daughter in all ways and at all times. May God continue to bless you and gives you the desire of your hearts. Brother George, as we come to the end of the program, what are the natural measures to maintain the health of the liver? And then you sum it up so that we can complete it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So our third hosts or guests, the viewers and our listeners, you realize that God, in his own wisdom, has created this sophisticated machine called the liver within this human system. Let's try to avoid from the things that will affect it and try to maintain it. No matter how you have damaged it to get all or some of the conditions we have mentioned, God said that with God, everything is possible. You can review your condition. Now, let's quickly go to how to maintain it. You realize that in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 and 30, that time there was no sin. God planned for them to take seeds and fruits and eat seeds. Therefore, when sin came into the system where sickness comes, then he added leaves. Therefore, let's be taking variety of leaves. Let's be taking variety of leaves. When you take variety of leaves, being it in a juice form, being it in a form, being it form, being it in a soup form, you really fight cancer that can affect the liver. You really help the liver to be able to detoxify itself and detoxify the entire system. Let's have positive mind. If someone has given you something to do, do it wholeheartedly. Positive mind. live with people positively. Positive mind will help us. Then let's be mindful with what we take as food or drink. What we take as food. Best be preparing your own drinks or juices rather than the others. The next one, be eating at don't be eating or don't overeat at a time, but at most for cooked meal, interval can be 4 hours, 4 hours intervals of your cooked meal. So if you eat at 6 and you want to eat again with cooked meal, take 4 to 5 hours interval, because 4 hours your body has digested it well, 4 active hours, and has rested for that hour before you take another cooked meal. Don't be intemperate. So when bread is passing, hey, bread. Then when yogurt is passing, yogurt. When rice is passing, rice. No, be temperate and regulate how you eat or how you consume things. I always tell you that there's safest medicine that we can get is a lot of water. Then the liver in a form of colors resembling the human structures. Any plant that has yellow color that is edible is good for the liver. Any plant that tastes for the liver. So let me give you a clue. You realize that when you are taking the chemical drugs, like the malaria drugs, is bitter in nature. All malaria drugs bitter in nature. So therefore, if I want to take in it in a plant form, yellow color you can take pawpaw. Yellow color you can take of dandelion. Yellow color plants, you can be talking about varieties of them. So depending on your locality, be checking the yellow colors. Aside variety, be checking the yellow colors. Then be looking at the bitter taste plants, like the bitter leaves. Like the bitter leaves. You know, the name sounds bitter. Bitter leaves. Like the when you take another leaf that sounds bitter, neem leaves. You see, neem leaves also have the yellow color and it has yellow seeds. Some people have not seen even the yellow seed before. It looks like the yellow berries and we eat it. It's good for the liver. So assignment for our viewers and our listeners, search around your locality, be it Ghana, wherever you find yourself. Look around the vegetables that is bitter in nature, the vegetables or the leaves that is yellow in nature that we can consume and be eating them aside, or have a free mind and pure air, everything, exercise well. When we do this, oh, by God's grace, one friend of the liver too is beetroot. Beetroot. Juice, can take it as a salad form. You can be taking them. Help your cells of the liver by taking ginger, onions, and garlic, the turmeric, because of the itis, inflammation of the liver. So you need to be taking a lot of the inflammatory foods like the turmeric, like the ginger, to help you. Beloved, these are what we want to just alert ourselves, so that as Richmo media viewers and listeners, we can begin to reverse some of our conditions. Then every Sunday afternoon, we can have time for us to have our health issues and our discussions. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great day, a good afternoon that the Lord has been so grateful to us, giving us this topic on how we can care or maintain the health of our liver. To our brother George Ackon, brother George, we say, may God continue to bless you as you continue to do his work through health ministry. And to everyone who made it possible to watch us this afternoon or listen to us, we say, may the good Lord bless you and give you the desire of your heart as we enter into a new week. The same time again, health issues right here at Richmond Media coming to your doorsteps next week, every Sunday at 3 o'clock UK Ghana time, and you can convert it to wherever you are. Until then, my name is Hanna Bimah, and may the good Lord continue to usher us, protect us from anything that we don't deserve to get, but He should rather open ways and avenues for us to have the blessings that He has bestowed for us. Until then, my name is Hanna Bimah. Bye-bye for now. Thank God. Just call yourself and join us for From the Beginning, right at Richmond Media. Thank you.
Yeah,